evening, everyone, and welcome to Your Time to Shine, a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts. Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. I'm so happy to have you here. I hope that you all are doing well this evening. I don't know about you. Oh, happy fall. I think today is the first day of fall. Although my husband made me think that it was the last day of fall, as he wished me a happy last day of fall. And I'm like, no. I don't want to go into winter yet. I like the fall. I'd like to enjoy my fall. So here we are. Last day of summer, first day of fall. So welcome everyone to a new season. And I hope that retrograde hasn't been too hard on you. It's pounded on me a little bit. I'm coming out punching though. So hopefully we can all get through this. We have a couple more weeks of retrograde. So fun stuff with communication and computers and software. How interesting. So tonight I wanted to discuss with you your triggers. Okay. What are your triggers? And what gets to you, what gets under your skin. And, when you take a look at that, have you ever really stopped and thought about your triggers? And what I mean by that is when we are triggered by something, a conversation, a person, an incident, it's time for us to kind of stop and reflect and say, okay, what is it that I need to know about this, right? So, couple of things. Not only do you need to look kind of deep inside, because the people who are standing in front of us are usually a mirror image of us in some way, shape, or form. That can be a good mirror, or maybe it's reflecting something that's not so pretty. Hello, triggers, right? So when something triggers you, you have to stop and say, okay, wait a minute. What about this conversation, this situation, this incident is getting under my skin, right? And then you have to go deep inside and say, what is it about this situation that maybe I do, right? So I'm not saying take the blame off of the situation or the person or the conversation. It's just a time for us to sit and reflect and say, okay, there's something going on here that is making me feel the way that I do. And what is it that needs to come out and, be reflected upon, right? It could be something about changing a habit or changing the way you do things, right? So if something is triggering you and you're not liking it, there's a reason why the universe is bringing it up to you. It's like, okay, reflection time here, right? So, it could be something as easy as, someone eating while they're talking to you on the phone, right? Maybe that's a trigger for you. Well, you have to stop and look, oh, wait a minute. Do I do that to other people, right? What do I do when I'm talking to somebody else that, might trigger them, or that maybe isn't, actually working for me, right? And it just is that deep reflection of going inside and trying to, open things up to what it is that you're needing to change. Maybe you're needing to clear something out of your aura, out of your beliefs. Maybe it's some kind of unhealthy belief system that's sitting deep down. It could even be something that happened during childhood that maybe you're not even aware of. And when you go really, really deep like that, that's when it's really great to have someone as a healer or someone who can help you dig deep and pull that out and clear that out for you so that yes, it's still going to be there. Maybe it'll still be annoying to you, but it's not going to trigger you and make you want to jump off the edge of the cliff, right? So everything that happens to us happens for a reason. And I always have to remind myself of this because sometimes things don't always go as I plan. And of course, me being the ultimate planner in my life, sometimes this can get a little frustrating, a little irritating. And I have to step back and say, okay, what is it that I'm supposed to learn about this situation? What is it that I'm supposed to know maybe more about myself? And maybe something that needs to be healed or cleared or brought up for conversation. So, if you can take a step back after something has triggered you, or you've had a difficult conversation with somebody, or, whatever that is, taking a look at that and saying, what is it that I'm supposed to know about this? What is it that I'm supposed to learn about this? What am I supposed to clear out for myself for this? And this is when it's really good to have conversations with others. This happened to me today and it really bothered me. It really upset me. What is it about this that I need to know, right? Sometimes other people can shed the light onto that piece of it if it's not coming through, if it's not being really obvious to you. Also just going through the phase, because, as I tell people when I get them readings, if it doesn't resonate with you right in that moment, give it a little bit of time, because I guarantee you something's going to come up and you're going to say, oh, that's what that was. That's what she meant. That's what he meant, right? So there's always an opportunity, even if we don't know in that particular moment, just giving it some time and space is enough to help us understand what it is that we need to know, or remind us, oh, I do know about this situation. I do know what to do in a situation like this because I've had it before, or because it's happened to me before. So take a look at some of these things that are coming up for you right now, especially during retrograde, right? Triggers are really intense because they are bringing up some things from our past that maybe needs to be cleared and needs to be pulled out from us, pulled out of our aura and our being, so that we can be more calm and relaxed about things. Okay. So it's a few more weeks of this retrograde. So could be a little bit bumpy. So give yourself a little bit of a break. I have to remind myself of this as well. And we will get through this on the other side together. All right. Right now, we're going to go to the phone lines. We have Marky in Fresno, California. Good evening, Marky, and welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Right now, to be honest, I'm hurt.
Okay. All right. Is there something specific that you are wanting to ask or to know, or are you just looking for some general information?
Yeah, I actually do want to know something. Can I just give you a little bit of background
Sure, if you would like to.
on, okay, my husband recently left me and I'm getting mixed messages. Like, he knows that he broke my heart, and I feel like there might be a possibility in the near future that we're gonna get back with each other. We have a daughter.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know
Okay.
because I
Marky,
know
let
it's.
me, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I know that I'm not too sure. My sister was saying if I file for custody, then I'm gonna have to put in a separation. And I don't want to make any moves right now because we're both really angry, and he's hurt because he came over and he cried. I don't know if that was an act or what, but I feel like he still cares, and I don't want to make any permanent moves on temporary feelings.
Right. So, Marky, as you're talking, I'm getting information coming through, and so you know, your intuition is correct. Okay, it's way too early to do anything, to make any moves or do anything. Like you said, you both are hurt. You both are going through your own emotions, and you have a child involved, right? Which makes it even more complex, right? So what I'm being shown is that just slow it way down, okay? Just be in that moment of, okay, this is happening and this doesn't feel good. And being in that space and place of, doing your grieving, being mad, being upset, right? Getting all those emotions out, so that they don't sit inside of you and create illness, right? Because that's what we don't want to do. We don't want to bury things down so deep that later on they're coming up as other issues. So be healthy about it, right? I'm getting that your husband is really struggling with this. He's really not sure that he's done the right thing. He's going through a change within himself. He doesn't know what to do with that, right? He thinks this is the way to do it, but he's not really sure. So that's why you're getting this piece of him where he's coming over and he's upset about it and even crying, because he's really not sure, right, that this is what is meant to happen. So he's got very strong, he has very strong belief systems that are about healthy marriages, right? He doesn't take marriage lightly. He believes in it.
Yeah, he said that.
This is why he's struggling, okay? And right now, the best thing to do is just let this be and let this kind of resolve itself. I am being shown that you guys need to have some conversations, and there could be some really hard conversations that you guys need to have, but you need to have them if you're going to come through and see eye to eye, or even try to work on this marriage if that is what you choose to do. Right now, I'm being shown that this can go either way because you guys are having your free will to make decisions about what's going to happen. So right now, I can't really tell you which way it's going to go because it's a real split, okay? It's going to be on how you guys react and how you guys either come to the same conclusion or not. I think down the road, you guys are going to come to the same conclusion, right? I just don't know which way that's going to be because I'm being shown that it's not meant to be known right now, okay? You guys have a really beautiful trust in each other and compassion for each other. There's this real big underlying friendship piece, which sometimes isn't always part of the marriage component. It feels like less and less marriages have that deep down friendship component, which is what you guys have, which is another reason why this doesn't feel very good, right? Because of that
Yeah.
deep that you guys have. So, um,
Hmm.
again,
Can I
this
ask
is,
you
yeah,
2 questions?
sure.
Okay, when he came over, because of course we have a daughter, and we have a nurse that is through CVRC because my daughter goes through there to get help. And um, he was saying, he talks to different people about marriage, about what he should do, but then it's like I feel like he's talking to somebody else. But then he gets mad and he's like, "No, I'm not." And he's like, "See, this is what I mean. You just get mad."
Right. So he's trying to get different perspectives. This is how he's trying to make some sense of how he's feeling, right? So in some ways, this is like his counseling, and maybe that's technically not really like the best wording for it, right? But this is where he's going to trusted people that he sees have, either good relationships or whatever that case is. He sees something in them that resonates with him, and he's talking about it, right? Which could actually be a really good thing because he's bringing all of these things to the surface, and they may have some uh, real open-minded conversations that might make him, shift and decide, you know what, they're right. I have a great marriage. I'm just going through some things and I need to get back to my family, right? I mean, so I don't, it's not being shown to me as this being a bad thing. This is for him exploring and understanding kind of what he's going through. For somebody to verbalize and say, yes, I understand what you're going through, right? Right now, he doesn't
Yeah,
feel to come to you and say, this is what I'm going through, and that you are going to be able to relate because you're not going to be able
yeah,
to relate what he's going through. So he's going outside of that to other people to try to find that relatable piece so he can make sense of what he's feeling, what he's sensing, what he's going through, really.
yeah. I also feel like I don't know. I get vibes off of things. I don't know. I feel like his family, because when we did break up, I had posted something because I thought I had a PPD, and I didn't realize I put "I hate him" in there, but I did, and that's kind of his family, his aunt and sister. I don't know if they stirred the pot, but my feeling is telling me they do not want me with him, and they got in his head, and that's why I mean, he had some thought in it too, but they're mostly thinking for him, and
Right.
they're persuading him into like, just that I'm not good. You need to leave her.
So this is where you guys to get back and talk this out, right? This is that piece
Hmm.
that, you know, it's true his family can get in there and kind of mess with his thought process a little bit, especially if he has a very strong family dynamic with his family. So this is why, you need to come to the table with a level head. You need to come to the table with calmness and facts, right? This isn't a time to get emotional and um, to go through that part. So this is why your guides are showing you need to have this time to be angry, to be upset, to cry, whatever that is, so that you can get to that calmer place and have that conversation with him and really dig deep and find out what it is that's making him feel the way he is. Now, with saying that, you may not find the exact answer, especially right then and there, but it starts the conversations flowing so the two of you can decide where this is really going to go.
I earlier, um, I texted him, and I told him, I know that we both fell out, and you don't have to give me an answer right now. I don't know if he read it, but I said, do you see us getting back with each other in the future? And you don't have to answer it right now. And he said, okay.
Yeah. He's not ready to answer that question, and you can't push him. All right. This is where you need to be able to give him that space to understand what it is, what he's going through. Because if you try to push that answer, you may not like the answer that comes back. Okay. So your guys are saying you need to step back. This is all very fresh. It's all very new. It's very, very emotional, right? So
Yeah.
taking the time
And
to pull back.
yeah. I mean, because I don't know. Because I set up marriage counseling, and maybe I know partly my family is in my head too, because they're like custody, 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 because his pattern before I had my daughter, before we were even married, he would come and go, come and go, come and go. And they're just looking at that from that point of view, and they're like, he hurt you, he left you, this and that. And so they're trying to like, you need to make moves. And so I thought, I'm going to go out of my way and I'm going to do marriage counseling. And I set it up, and I know that takes time, and I was willing to take the time. And the marriage counselor had called him, and he said, no, he doesn't want to do it.
Right.
And so, I mean,
again, he's
not ready, huh?
He's not ready, and he's waffling, and you have to be able to give him a little bit of that space. Again, I wouldn't do anything right away. I'm being shown, just step back and take a moment. Even if your family is, got your ear and saying, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to go deep into your heart, get out of your head, and go deep into your heart and ask the question, what is it do I really want? Because maybe you will find that it hurts right now, but maybe you will find that both of you might be better off going your separate ways and still trying to raise your daughter as two parents who love her. So they're saying that, once you kind of get through a little bit of this emotion, this hard, raw emotion that you're feeling, then drop into your heart and ask what it is that you really, even if you sat down with a piece of paper, right? And said, here are my likes, here are the things I don't really like, right? And then let your heart talk to you, okay? But pushing him right now is not going to help the situation at all right?
Yeah.
Marky, we're coming down to the last few seconds of our show, so I'm going to have to say goodnight. I want to thank you for calling in, and hopefully this has been helpful for you.
Yeah, it has.
Good. Best of luck to you. It's a hard situation that you're dealing with right now, so be gentle with yourself, okay?
Okay.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
That does it for me, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would love to have a private reading one-on-one with me, please reach out to me on my Wings of Souls with Julie webpage, or reach out to me on my Facebook pages, Julie YeagerWalker Medium or Your Time to Shine. Good evening, everyone, and have a wonderful week.